What's going on, world? You here at the Crosscast. It's your man Cleveland. Cleveland Homes if you professional. Showtime if you nasty. I know that you probably see Rail's not here with me. And unfortunately, Rail probably won't be back. He's actually chasing one of his dreams right now, man. And I'm more than proud of him, man. I wouldn't expect it any other way. You know, I wish him the best. I wish he could be here doing this, but hey, when you got dreams, you gotta follow yours, man. You gotta do what's best for you. I completely understand that because shit, I would do the same thing. And hell, I expect him to do that. I wouldn't ever want to see someone that I claim to love and care about to not pursue what they feel is best for them or not be what they want to be. You know, I completely encourage that. I want to push that on everyone, even people I don't know. Do what you want to do, man. Pursue your dreams. Be who you want to be. You can't be what someone else wants you to be. And also, you know, what happened, you know, him not being here and him going to pursue his dream kind of brought about today's topic for me, and which is, you know, what it takes to follow a dream. Because everybody's got dreams. I mean, there's a lot of people who's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. I believe that, but not exactly. Everybody knows something they would like to do. They may not know how to attain that or how to go about getting that. And hell, sometimes people are just scared. You know, like if you're thinking, hey, I want to be a football player, you know how much work goes into that? Like, that's not a easy feat, you know, or you want to be a rocket scientist. That's not something that's easy to do, but it'd probably be a lot easier if you really buckled down and focused on it. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world that's very conducive to following your own dream, because there's so many other dreams out here that we're sold and we choose to buy. You know, rather we notice we're choosing it or not, you're choosing it. Like hell, you might end up working in a factory where they're making parts for somebody else's dream. Now, they'll pay you enough to pay your bills and take care of yourself, and you'll just kind of get stuck in that because you're like, well, now that I'm here doing this, I've built this life. How do I switch into something else that I really wanted to do, but maybe it doesn't pay right away? You know, so it's easy to get distracted and get knocked off course of what it is you want to do. Actually, following dreams is not for the faint of heart, man. Unfortunately, there's only few people that will actually pursue a dream and see it all the way through to completion. And sometimes dreams change as you're going along the way. You might be looking at one thing, and as you're getting deeper into it, maybe you see, this ain't exactly what I wanted, but I do like where this can go over if I branch off that way. And it's still fine. But I guess what I really want to talk about is what it takes to follow a dream, and what really goes into it. And really I can only speak from my knowledge, and I'm not anywhere near where I want to be in life, you know. But this here, what I'm doing, this Crosscast, this is a stepping stone. This is part of it. This leads to where I'm trying to get to. This is a nice stepping stone. This is like the foundation of it all. The idea of what this is. I'm not going to explain everything that this is, but just know this is right on course. This is going there. This is where I want to take this. This is where I'm headed. So when we talk about following a dream, you know, most people get caught up in the time frame. There's more aspects of time. We're going to start with time frame. So maybe you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, I'm too old for that. I'm 31. What I'm doing right here for this show, I had this idea years ago. I actually attempted something like it before, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. I did 2 episodes of it. Now, what I didn't know is part of what I wanted, and the people who I did the interviews with actually kind of are on par with what I'm talking about. Dream chasers. They were people that I respected what they were doing. One of the main ones is young lady named Althea Young. She has a brand called No Basis. She has stored out Great Northern Mall. If you're in Ohio, you may know where that's at, in the Cleveland area. She sells stuff online. Now, I admire what she does because I know her. Like, I've known her since high school. And I watched her turn into the person she is. And I completely respect that. And that knowing people like that is actually motivation to someone like me, where it's like, man, I see what you're doing. Hell, I want to be like that too. I want to follow my dream. I may have made some roads in life more rocky than I needed to, but I'm here now. That's all that really matters. Like, when we talk about time frame, it's like the object of time, you have to get that out of your mind when it's coming to chasing a dream. There's no time frame. The only time frame is from the day you're born till the day you die. Anything in between, you have all of that. You have all of that. So for people to, unless you want to be like a Disney Channel star as a kid, once you're not a kid, you can't be a kid star. But shit, there's grown-ups on the Disney Channel if that's what you really wanted to do. Not saying people want to be on Disney Channel, but, well, somebody do, because obviously they're a channel. But people get so caught up in, oh, I don't have enough time for that the time's passed. Why? Why has the time passed? If you're still breathing, why did the time pass? Why don't you have the time? No, it's never too late to follow a dream. If you're still having it, that's kind of your subconscious telling you could technically still be doing this. You just maybe a little scared. Maybe you don't know how to do it. Maybe you don't know what steps to take. Or maybe it's just too much work. And maybe you feel like you don't have the time in the day. Now, when I say time in the day, I'm not talking time frame. I mean, maybe you're busy with work, you have a family, you just feel like you can't afford to take that time to do whatever it is that you want to do, which is a lot of people's problem. And it's a valid argument that you could make, but it's also kind of bullshit. If you really want to do something, you have to make that time. If you have to write out your day's schedule in advance, then that's what you have to do. Now, I know y'all probably like, man, you sitting here talking this shit. You don't know what I got going on. You're right. I have no clue what you have going on. I don't really care either, like, not to be rude or anything. Look, you can make excuses for yourself, just like I can make excuses for myself. I'm the king of excuses. I have 1,000,001 excuses on why I can't do something. And that's been something over the last couple years that I have made it a point to stop doing. I can find an excuse for anything, man. Excuses are just like assholes. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got one. There's an excuse for literally anything you can think of. You can think of an excuse for. So I could not do this show ever. I could be like, hey, I need to be getting some sleep for work, or hey, I need to be at the gym working out, or hey, I need to be spending time with my son. Why can't I do all of those things? I can cut certain things a little short and save myself a little time to do this. And you don't have to, every dream is not one that you have to necessarily actively pursue every day. Now, maybe you can plan for when that day comes where you actually have to do action steps. But most days, it's not an action step. Just like when you go to work, you get days off. It's funny that so many people are so willing to work 40 plus hours a week to make sure someone else's dream comes true, as opposed to using some hours out of their day to put their dream in motion. And that's something that society kind of, we always hear is when we're kids in school, you can be whatever you want to be. But nobody ever shows you how to prioritize what you want to be. They just kind of tell you it, and it's like some little funny fairy tale, like Jack and Jill and all that shit. But you never actually learn it. They don't show you it. And then they feed you, oh, well, you can go to college. And then you can rack up all kinds of debt unless you're rich or unless your family's wealthy. Then you can go to school and actually learn your stuff and not come out in debt. But most people aren't in that category. So we have to figure it out. We have to learn how to balance our lives. But just like you don't have time to pursue whatever dream it is you have, you probably got some time on the weekend to go to the bar or relax. And I'm not saying you shouldn't relax. Relaxation is actually a key to a healthy life. You have to take some time to rest. There's no problem with that. But how much rest do you need? I'm not saying never sleep because that's stupid. That's stupid. People get caught up in I don't get no sleep, man. I just be grinding. That's not smart. And you're probably lying. People sleep. People get sleep. And people that don't get sleep, it shows up. It shows up. You will get that sleep sooner or later. How you get it, I like mine to be voluntary. But time, man. Time management is a key factor in following a dream and not getting caught up on time frames. Like I bought this banner behind me some years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, because I planned on doing a web show or something with that. I knew I wanted that because it's my logo. I wanted that, and I knew I needed it for what I wanted to do. Now, did I plan on waiting 4, 5, 6 years to use it? No, I didn't. I thought I was going to use it that week. I thought I was going to use that thing right away. It didn't pan out like that. I wasn't ready to make the necessary sacrifices to even attempt my dream. I did parts of it. Okay, for instance, let's say, it's not even for instance, this is an actual fact. I went into music. Like I was writing raps, I actually went places, performed them, threw some shows. Can I say my heart is in rapping? No, I just love music. I do like music. And it's funny because I actually don't listen to much different music now. I kind of stick to the same music, but I knew I wanted to entertain and inspire. I wanted to reach people. I'm a people person. I want to affect people's lives, but in a positive way. I don't want to spew them nonsense. And to me, a lot of what catches on the rap is, it's real self-destructive nowadays. I can't wholeheartedly get behind that because I know, that the bigger your influence is, the more people hearing you, the more influence you have. And I don't want to influence anyone to do anything that I wouldn't do. And today there's a lot of stuff that I won't do. So if I'm going to make music, my music has to portray a certain message. And I think there's a simpler, less people pleasing way for me to portray that. I can do it here, like this, where I'm just talking. Now, do I still like to make music? Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Is that something that I'm pursuing? No, because what all the extra stuff that comes with it, I'm not dedicated enough to that. And that's fine. I had to try it to see that was not that's not where my heart was exactly at. It was a piece of it because I like reaching out to people. But there was another piece that's like, I need a little too much of people's approval with this that I don't care to grab. Now, people that I know that hell I went to school with that are actively pursuing music, I admire that. That's a great thing. Like that you're still going for it, you're still pushing, and some of them are making it work. I'm like, hey, big ups to you. That's dope shit. I completely respect that. But I also know that's not my route. That's not for me. So that brings me to the next point. What else? We got time. Time frames, time. You have to manage your time in order to chase a dream. You have to make time for it. However that is, you have to make time for it. And by making time, we go to the second point, sacrifices. There are sacrifices in life that you are going to have to make in order to follow that dream, because everything does not fit at all times. There's a time and a place for everything, whatever it is you like to do. But some stuff right, there's not enough time. There's not enough time for things that don't contribute to that dream that you're following, that dream that you're chasing, that dream you're following. Everything doesn't contribute to that. Like going out and kicking it. I'm not saying don't ever have fun, but at times where you're going out, you're at the bar, you're spending money. Yeah, you're having a great time. So it seems, but now the next day, how do you feel? You might be hungover, you got less resources because you just spent up money. So most dreams take some funding. $100 night at the bar could have went towards a crossover banner or, went towards lights, went towards a camera, went towards a computer, went towards a microphone. There's things that you have to cut out until you get to where you're going. You can always revisit it, or you can always plan for those times where it's like, okay, I know I'm going to want to cut loose every now and then. So make sure you're putting some money to the side that you don't necessarily, I don't believe in the word extra money. There's something you can do with it, but put your fund to the side. It's like, hey, I'm going to throw a couple dollars in here every time I come across some money, and every now and then I'm going to just go have a good time. When I kick it with my son, me and him like to bowl together. I do that. I try to, lately I've been trying to do that weekly with him, at least once a week. That's what we doing right now. He's a little older, so he don't like to sit up under me like he did when he was, a little kid, little baby. He used to like to he'd just come chill with dad, and we could just sit in the house and not do nothing, and we can watch movies, and he would be content with that. Now, today, he's a teenager. He's not content with that. And I completely understand him because I was the same way. So in order to not have to sacrifice time with him, I just incorporate him into my kick it time. My kick it time, okay, maybe Saturday, instead of going out, I'll go bowl with my son. That's two things in one. I'm having fun. I'm bonding with my boy. we both having an activity that we both enjoy, keeping our bond good. Two things at once. And hell, I had to sacrifice drinking. Because those who know me, shit, I used to be a drunk motherfucker. like drinking was my shit. I would drink, and not handle nothing. Yeah, I might go to work, and shit, I might not. I was not balanced. So it came a point in life where I'm like, I have to cut this. I can't function with this and get to where I'm trying to get to. And I spent years battling with that, trying to kick that. That was something that I had grown so comfortable with being a part of my life that it was hard to get rid of it. I had to bump my head a million times, between going to jail and losing things that I've built. I lost a lot of stuff. I gave a lot of things to alcohol. I gave it to it. I can't say it took it from me because I picked what I wanted to pick. And today, I'm not willing to give any more to it. I had my fun with it. I leave it for the next guy. There's plenty left, man. You go ahead, drink that. I can't do it. Some people can. I can't. Other sacrifices. There's people want relationships. Hell, I play it cool. I'm definitely cool when it comes to women. Deep down, I'm a hopeless romantic, just like other people. But at this point in life, to get what I want, I'm willing to be single. It would take somebody would have to be real. It would have to be real convenient for me to take someone seriously right now because of what I'm trying to accomplish. I don't have all the hours in the day, between working, making money, because I have to fund these things that I want to do. These things aren't going to fund themselves, and the route that I'm taking, I have a more entrepreneurial spirit. So I don't mind the idea of footing the bill for something that I want to do because I don't want someone else to be able to control it. Now, is that a knock on people who maybe go get a job somewhere, like maybe get a job in radio or, no, that's not a knock on anyone who does it a different way. This is just my choice of ways, so I will sacrifice money I make to, man, and it's not really a sacrifice, but for the sake of me making the point, I'll call it a sacrifice. I sacrifice money so that I can pursue my dream the way that I want to do it without someone censoring or okaying anything that I do. However I do it, that's how I do it. Because I'm footing the fucking bill. If I came and did something for you and you were footing the bill, you get to call the shots. But that's not the case over here. This is my thing, so you might have to sacrifice some of your vices. You might have to sacrifice relationships. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, if you want to follow a dream, you gotta be single. No. I just know that relationships take time. Healthy relationships call for spending time. And the way my schedule is right now, I don't have a lot of time for that. Somebody would have to be in the right place at the right time, as of right now. And it don't really seem like that. It's not big on my list of things to do today. Maybe tomorrow. So you might have to sacrifice relationships. You might have to sacrifice that kicking it, man. That turn up, man. That going out to the bar, or maybe your friends want to do something this week. Maybe, oh, hey, we want to go to Vegas next month. You down? Oh, we going on the 15th. I know I got a pod, or maybe I scheduled an interview with someone for that time. I don't want to be rescheduling my business to go have fun. It's like I could have fun. We could go to Vegas another time. I could go another weekend. Maybe I just don't get to go with y'all. That's okay with me today. Now, in the past, no, I didn't want to miss nothing. I didn't ever want to feel like I was missing out on something. But that also was me making a conscious decision to not follow whatever dream it was I could have been pursuing at the time. When you pick one thing, whether you mean to or not, you're saying no to something else. So make sure whatever that something else that you're saying no to, you're okay with saying no to that. If it's going to eat you alive in the end, you probably made the wrong decision. So, example, if I chose to go to Vegas on the 15th, as opposed to interviewing whoever I wanted to interview for my show, I consciously or subconsciously said no to that interview and said yes to Vegas. Now, was that my intention? Did I want to not say no to that? Or did I want to say no to the interview? No, I just wanted to go to Vegas. But you have to consider these things. Don't be like, oh, well, I didn't do that. Well, you did. It don't matter what the intention was. All that matters is the outcome. You have to be real objective when you're doing things. Like, don't say what you meant to do. All that matters is what happens. What happened? What was the outcome? If I intend to build you a house, but I blow it up, it don't matter what the intention was. All that matters is you still don't have a house. So that's something to think about. Sacrifices are necessary. Now, when you say the word sacrifice, it may have a kind of negative connotation behind it, where you're like, I don't want to be sacrificed. I shouldn't have to sacrifice time with my family. I shouldn't have to sacrifice having fun and relaxing and doing things I want to do. No, you don't have to completely give these things up. Like, there's a time and place for everything. Everything has a time and place. You can't do everything at once. So you have to manage your time. You manage your time, you can get everything done. Sometimes you might have to sacrifice a couple hours of sleep to get something done. Right now, I'm recording this at night. The last episode we recorded in the daytime. Why? Because today I was spending time with the family. I had my sister over, my niece was over, her dad was over, my mom was over, I had some other friends over. I did stuff today. I had a good day. But I also knew I had business to attend to. I started putting this out and I can't not have an episode because I wanted to hang out today, or because my co-host, well, now ex-co-host, is following a different path and this doesn't fit with that. I can't stop because of that. And if I do, I'm actively choosing to not do this. I can give every excuse that I want. But the fact remains, I was not willing to sacrifice. But I am willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to sacrifice a couple hours of my relaxation before bed to make sure I get this done, because this is something I want to do. This is the foundation of the dream that I'm chasing. I want to come and give this to the people. This is my contribution to society. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm doing. Whether it works or not, that's to be seen. But usually when you put the work in, you get what you're looking for. And there's no time frame on it. I'm not like, if I'm not making $1 million off of this by next month, I'm a failure. No, I got time. I got time. I'm not dead. I don't plan on dying tomorrow. Hopefully I don't die anytime soon. And I can just keep at following my dream. And hopefully one day it catches. I'm sure it will. All I have to do is make sure that I put myself in position to move on it when the opportunity presents itself. And that's pretty much what anyone who's ever accomplished anything did. they worked and made sure that they were in the position to capitalize when the opportunity presented itself. You know, that's part of life, man. Opportunities are always going to come around. You have to be ready when they do come. So if you stay ready, you never got to get ready. That's one of my favorite sayings. And also when you're chasing the dream, there's factors that you have to weigh in before so that way you can plan. You have to weigh in factors. The only way you're going to come up with a solid game plan is if you weigh in all your factors. Now, if I have a dream to live in Japan, but I have a son here, how does that work? That's a factor that I have to weigh in. My son does not live with me. So if I went to Japan, how would I see my son? That's a factor I would have to weigh in. So when you're deciding to move on whatever dream it is that you're moving on, you have to weigh in factors of things that are important to you, because I don't feel like you're winning if you're achieving one goal, but another huge piece of you're neglecting. I don't feel like that's pursuing the goal 100%. That's not pursuing the dream 100%. The dream is to accomplish what you want to accomplish while still maintaining the life you want. Like, that's why you see like these famous people that's like, oh, I'm so empty, I feel alone. It's like, because it's something you're shrugging. It's something you're shrugging to maintain this level of success. I threw the air quotes up with that because someone else's idea of success may not be yours. Don't get caught up in other people's idea of success, because success to me may look different to you. To me, I'm not successful if I can't deal with my family. If I have to cut family completely off, and not because they're being foul, I'm just cutting them off because of work, that's not successful to me. That's making money. like you just making money. My idea of success, I'm very family oriented. So there's no way for me to be successful without my family being part of it. Now, that's not saying that whatever dream I'm following, they have to help with. I would like if there was a way I could include them, but if not, I still want to make sure I have time for them. That's where I get a lot of my strength and comfort from. I get that from them. What I can't imagine, oh, I'm living a good life and I'm not dealing with them. That's not success to me. To some people are not so family oriented. Maybe your family don't see eye to eye like that. Maybe you don't have any alive. Maybe you don't know them. So success can look different depending on who's looking at it. So really, you have to define what your success is, and is that dream of yours necessarily your idea of success? They should coincide, and if they don't, you probably are not thinking it all the way through. If you really sat down and figured out what that was, they would more than likely coincide. Success and your dream are 9 times out of 10 the same thing. Success to me looks like I'm not hurting for material things. I'm not very materialistic, but there's certain things I do want, and more so I want material things for my family. I want them to have things. I would like to be able to go to my mom one day and say, hey, you don't gotta work, you don't gotta do nothing for money no more. What do you want? You can have it, whatever it is. And I'm sure she would probably not even want to take advantage of it. I would hope she would. But even if whether she did or didn't, that's part of my success. When I think of that, my son, hey, I want to give you every opportunity to actually find out what you want to do in life, as opposed to taking what's available. I doubt when any kid goes to bed at night, they're dreaming of becoming a general laborer at a factory. Maybe you might want to work in there. Maybe a kid has a dream of making parts, maybe designing a spaceship. But who the hell wants to work in a steel mill? It's hot, it's dirty. Some people do. But you get you get the point. I would like to have myself in a position to where, okay, hey, what do you think is interesting? Okay, I can send you to learn about this, or I can bring the resources to you to try this. And that's a difference in, in our society, where with people that have money versus people that don't. When you don't have it, you kind of just have to take what opportunities are given. As far as, okay, we need money. If you're not focused on where you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, when those things are taken care of all the way together, you can focus on other things, because it's hard to find happiness when you're hungry. It's hard to find happiness when you don't have space, when you're sleeping somewhere uncomfortable. There's factors to this stuff. You have to weigh these things in. So maybe as a parent, at some point, I have to buckle down and say, okay, I need to make money so that way if my son needs something, I can have it. Maybe that kind of deters me from my dream. That takes some of my time. But I have to, if I'm really serious about this dream, I have to make that sacrifice. So when you weigh in all your factors, then it's easier to decide what sacrifices need to be made. So it's hard to have a dream when you don't think it all the way through. You need a solid plan. And I kind of went in this stuff out of order. I probably should have started with solid plan and then worked my way down, because all of this stuff that I just named goes into the plan. Okay, well, next time if I ever do this again, I know start with the plan. So you got your goal, you got your dream. You got to come up with a plan, and inside of that plan, you have to weigh in all the factors that are in your life. There's different factors in your life. There's some things you can't shrug off. There's some things you can. You have to figure out all these factors. List them. Write them down even. I've noticed lately, it does me good to write things down. When I was younger, my mom always used to tell me, you need to write that down. Write stuff down. And I'm like, I'll remember it. I can't remember shit. But I noticed writing things down helps me stay organized, helps me keep things in perspective. And really, man, the power of writing is strong, because now you've made it something physical that you can see. So when it's physical and you can see it, that kind of gives it more life. You brought it to life by writing it down. And when you act on it, it's a thing. Like it's there now. It's there. You can't deny it now. It's there. You've done it. You wrote it down. You acted on it. Now it's done. You did it. It's real now. So make your plan. You weigh in all your factors, and then you decide what can I afford to sacrifice? What don't I need that I'm doing? What don't I need? What can I afford to give up to chase this dream? What's not conducive to this dream that I have going on that I don't need to have going on? What's draining me that shouldn't be draining me? That's not really that important. Stuff that I don't need to have. We get so caught up in the social media and we want to look like we're living so great. You trying to keep up with the Joneses and you not even realizing the Joneses ain't really even got what they showing you. Social media is crazy. It's crazy. Do I do social media? Yeah, I'll be on there. I'll be on there. I'm scrolling. I'm looking at stuff. Do I get so caught up into it? No. Because luckily for me, when I was a kid, we didn't have social media. This came about in my teenage years. So to see this, I can see the game, but like for people younger than me, they don't know a life without it. So it's almost like they think this shit is real. Like I can paint whatever narrative I want to on this social media. I could look like, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, everything's going on, and I'm miserable. Like, okay, 2 years ago, right? I started getting in the gym, and I just got out of jail. I see my friend, the one that I mentioned out there. I see her. She's like, oh, oh yeah, everything been going good. I see you've been doing good. I'm like, shit, I've been fucked up. She like, really? I couldn't tell. I just looked at her like, social media. She like, you right. You right. It looked like everything was fine, but it's like, yeah, I'm not posting to y'all like I'm stressed out, man. I'm battling with alcohol. I'm trying to kick this shit, and it's just hard, Hell, I just got out. I'm working some poop ass job. I'm cooking. Hell, I was cooking at the damn strip club, like across town, riding the bus, riding the rapid. Oh, I ain't had to be there. I had to leave out 2 hours before I had to be at work just to get there on time. Like people ain't seeing that. They only seeing what I'm showing them. You can do that on social media. You can show them. Like I much rather be real, but I just wasn't showing much of anything. I was showing that I was working out. And even back then I was just getting started. So I wasn't as tough in it. Like now, my body looks different. I've put on 20 pounds, and it's solid, but that's not something that came overnight. I had to make a decision and I had to sacrifice some things, i.e. kicking it, kicking it like I'm celebrating something, but I'm not celebrating shit. This is just what I do every night. I'm at the bar giving these people my money instead of focusing on what I really think is important, which is, one day I'm not going to be on this planet. I do want to leave a mark, though. I think that's what most people want. People, the fear of dying and not being remembered, or what you're going to be remembered for. I don't want to, if I drop dead, I would hate for my legacy to be the drunk nigga. like, oh, Cleveland died yesterday. Oh, you talking about the drunk nigga? I would hate that. That's a terrible legacy because there's so much more to me. There's so much more to me. I have so much more to offer. I would hate for that to be it. And really, I don't want that to be the narrative while I'm alive. Oh yeah, I seen Cleveland the other day. Oh, the drunk nigga? but that's kind of where I was headed, Hell, I was there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people still was cool and everything. It wasn't like shit was just all bad. I done had some dumb situations, but I wasn't headed towards what I honestly view myself as. I view myself as more than that, but it don't. If I view myself as that and I think I'm more than that, how can I honestly think that if that's all I am doing? If that's all I'm doing, how can I honestly say I'm more than that? You know? So I don't condone anyone going to jail, but the last time I went, I did some soul searching. You know, the last time I was there, I was like, I'm just looking around like, man, I'm still doing this. And it's like, you know, the more you going, the longer your time start getting. You know, start with a little week here, week there, weekend here, weekend there, to month here, 2 months there. Next thing you know, you're doing 7 months, 6 months, and shit like that. You like, hold on, man, what's coming? And next thing I know, I'm about to be sitting it down for some years because I'm just fucking off. You know, and that's something that was a good sacrifice. I feel like that's a good sacrifice that I made there. But now, when it comes to other sacrifices that I made, have been making over these last couple of years, you know, to reach these dreams and goals of mine. Certain friendships I don't water anymore. I don't nurture these friendships. And it's not because I hate the people. It's not because they're bad people. It's they don't fit into what I'm doing. And that's not to say they'll never come around. You know what I mean? If I'm bumping into you, you know, it's still all love. I'm just not, I know what you into. I'm not coming into that. So us kicking it, yeah, we probably ain't about to party no more. Cause really, one, I'm not trying to party. You know, I'm focused. I'm locked in right now. And what you do has too much risk in it. It's risk that I'm unwilling to take. You know what I mean? Like, hell, people's out here dying on the daily. And not to say that, oh, just because you're doing something else means that nothing can happen to you. That's not true. But it does lower your chances when you're not in certain places doing certain things. If I'm every night in the bar drinking, you know, yeah, you'll probably be fine. But you also increase the chances of shit happening. And it's not like I'm not a proud person. I'm a proud motherfucker. So if I'm in a spot and shit going sideways, I'm not above getting into a fight. I mean, nowadays I'm way less likely because I'm way calmer because shit, I'm not drunk. But shit, I'm not gonna be somewhere and people just gonna be disrespecting me and I'm just gonna be like, oh man, it's cool. Words don't hurt. Yeah, they just words, but shit, I don't want you shooting them shits at me. You know what I mean? It's easy to get caught up in nonsense when you're in situations where nonsense is likely. But now, if I'm at the gym, I'm working out, yeah, it's still testosterone pumping. It's still proud people there. But we are a lot less likely to get in the bullshit. Hell, we might not even speak, you know, because everybody's focused. Everybody doing their one too. And I'm just throwing examples out there. I'm not saying don't ever go to the bar because you might have fun there. You know, and shit, every now and then I might go in there with my people. They might get a drink or something. I might get some food. We might shoot some pool. But I'm not closing that bitch. You know, I used to close the bar. It don't matter what time I got there, I'm closing that motherfucker. So if I get there at 7 p.m., well, hopefully I bring a pocket full of money because I'm closing that bitch. If I pull up there at 1, cool. It ain't too much longer before I close this bitch. But I'll say that I'm getting a little off track, but you get your plan, you weigh in your factors, you decide what it is you can afford to sacrifice, what sacrifice you can make that's not too great, and what sacrifices are necessary. Every sacrifice is not necessarily you giving up something that you would like. Some sacrifices are shit you don't need. You can sacrifice some bullshit. Like I don't need to be sitting with the homies at my boy house just getting drunk or just smoking bud. You know, I don't need to just be doing that. Not saying there's nothing wrong with kicking it with your peoples, turning up if that's what you do. But if I'm doing this all the time, anytime I got some free time, this is what I'm doing. I'm overdoing it. I'm shaking a lot of responsibility, and I'm shaking a lot of time that I could be moving closer to my self-actualization. You know, that's a key factor to happiness. You know, self-actualization. That's at the top of the list on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, top of the list, self-actualization. To get there, it's like that's a level of happiness that I want to have. I want to see what that's like. I'm willing to make sacrifices just to try to get there, to see what that feels like. I think that's a level of happiness that I want to taste that. And I'm down to go for that. Whatever it takes. As long as I don't have to shit on anyone I love, anyone I care about, no family, none of my friends. I don't even really call any of my friends now. Like they're family to me. Like that's just where I'm at now. Like I used to sit in a lot of gray area, and now shit's getting more black and white. You know, the further I go mentally, you know, because mental preparation is a big part of any battle, anything. Mental preparation. If you're not prepared mentally, it's hard to be prepared physically. You know, and that's why I do take that time to exercise, because when I do exercise, my body, it takes mental to do that. You know, people don't realize how in tune you are, you know, when you got your body and your mind and your spirit all in unison. It feels different. It feels different, man. My conviction is different now. It's different these days. And I know that's in part to having a clear mind, you know. So I do encourage a clear mind, you know, at least when it's time for it. Now, when you got your actual free time, you know, when you did what you needed to do, I did what I could do for right now. Now it's time to relax. Do whatever you do, however you unwind. But you just walking around 24/7, geeked out your mind, I guarantee it's a lot more you could be doing. And there's people that got money and they're like that, but are they successful? See, some people confuse making money with being successful. Or my goal, my dream is to be rich. Is it? Is it? You know, if your goal is just to be rich and that's the only thing, I don't trust you. Because nowhere in there did you say, be with my people. So you just want to be rich. You don't want to be loyal. You don't want to be smart. You don't want to not be in danger. You know, I don't trust you. If that's all you care about is money, I don't trust you. You know, because really the only reason I care about money is so that I can do things I want to do. Or so I can have things I want to have. If I could have everything I wanted to have and go places I wanted to go and never have $1, I would be fine with that. You know, if I could just like work out a trade system or something where it's like, hey, I'll come cut your grass and fix your car, and you just fly me over there to Vegas in your plane, and I'll just go hang out with my big brother. I'd rock like that. You know, like that. I don't really care for money. I only want the money so that I can do what I want to do. If I could do what I wanted to do without money, I wouldn't ever have $1. You know? But that's just me. So out of all this, hopefully you took what it takes to follow a dream. Managing your time. Yeah, managing your time and getting the idea of a time frame out of your mind. Unless you have like a goal with deadlines that's part of like the steps you're taking to something. If you got to meet a deadline, okay, that's different. But as far as, I'm too old to do this, I don't fucking know what you're talking about. I don't get it. I don't understand. you have to sacrifice. You have to weigh out all the factors in your life and figure out what you can cut to make more time for what you really want. Or you have to do that. There's no way you can do everything at once. So you have to make a decision. If you're deciding to do what you want to do, you have to cut out what you don't need. Or you have to do less of something. You gotta make that sacrifice so you can make that time. You have to free that time up. And you have to have a solid plan. When you plan, you might have to set different goals inside of that plan to get to where you're trying to get to. And if you got a solid plan, it's hard to fail. Now, keeping your confidence up in the midst of things, because shit is gonna go wrong. Like hell, I had a co-host my first 2 episodes of this. I'm in episode 3 and I'm already out of a co-host. And I started to look for people, and it's like, dude, this part of your dream. Just go ahead and host it. I'll still have guests come through, when I can, which I'll try to get more times than not, but this part of my dream. And if I want it to work, I got to be willing to put the work in. So if that means I got to study more, I got to read more, so that way I can keep coming and giving y'all content, then that's what I got to do. I might have to sacrifice some time so that way I can make sure I'm knowledgeable enough to come sit in front of y'all and talk about something. Whatever I got to do, that's what I got to do. I picked this. This is what I wanted. So if I really want it, I really have to pursue it. I really have to get busy, get in my bag, and go get what the fuck I want. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And shit, getting it done yourself, the reward is that much bigger. Can't nobody take something from you that you built. Nobody. So that's, hey, the team will come, man. You build it. If you plant them, they will grow. You plant the seeds, it's gonna grow. And I'm excited to see where this journey is gonna take me. But for the record, I'm in this for the long haul, man. This is what I'm doing. This is what we doing, man. This is the Crosscast, baby. Brought to you by Crossover. I'm going to sign out. Your man Cleveland Holmes. If you professional, Showtime if you nasty. Let's go be great.